Hello, and welcome to Fusion Writing, where building character meets creating structure. Well, this is our map day of Zettelkasten week, and that means we're going to get down to the real, actual fun. So let me turn it over to Victoria to get us started. Victoria?
Okay, guys, welcome back. So, the question on the table is, after you spend all of this time working on things like who's your protagonist, who's your hero, is there a sidekick or a love interest? You've worked through all of these things, and maybe you've built out a whole bunch of those character cards where you've taken notes and you've fleshed out those people that you potentially want to put in your story. What do you do with them then? Well, let's talk about that. In your Zettelkasten, you have several options for how you want to sort things and make them accessible at hand when you need them. The first option, which is how I started my Zettelkasten when I was writing my novel, is to file them by character. I knew I was working on a particular story that involved a certain set of people. And so in my mind, it made sense to me to just file them by their names. So in my box, my novel lives in the 7,000s. And so I just started numbering my main female character, my main male character, and those became the two primary file sets. Underneath them are the people who populate their world. So for example, my main female character's mother, her best friend, her co-worker, anyone that falls in her world goes underneath her main number, which is 7,010. Then my main male character, same thing. His co-worker, his best friend, his parents, they all fall underneath his main number. So you can simply use an individual character that is primary in your mind and file the people in their world underneath them. That's one way. Just do it by character name. And then remember, over in your index, to record that character's name under the letter for their name and the address where you find those cards. That way you can always find your way back. Now, the second option, rather than just their name, is what if you don't have your characters named yet? What if this is still kind of a high-level idea for a story? Or maybe you're just doing some character research and it doesn't really apply to a specific story yet. That's okay, I've got you. Instead, you're going to start filing them by role. Maybe you'll have a section that is labeled the best friend, or you'll have a section that's the boss or the coworker. Maybe you'll have a section that's the love interest or the ex-love. All of those are simply character stand-ins. So maybe you go to your index under C for characters and you just give yourself a list, right? It's like what I call in my book, Zettelkasten for fiction writers, the key players. It's a best friend, it's a mother, it's a coworker, whatever. You're just keeping those together in a unit as kinds of characters that you might populate your story with, and you're just filing them under C for characters. Now, if you want to get further down in the weeds, you can certainly break them out. And under M have moms, and under B have bosses, and under R have romance. However you want to break it down, it's entirely up to you. Just be consistent. Another option in that character realm is you could do them by archetype. Maybe you're going to have the hero or the shero, as I like to say. Maybe you'll have the villain. Maybe you'll have a mentor or a guardian. Again, those are just going under those large high-level categories, and you're going to start filing in those cards. Under mentor, maybe there is a wise old mentor. Then maybe there's a youthful, kind of fun mentor. Maybe there's someone that's not even a person. Who knows what you populate your world with? They can all go right under that main category, and then you just feather those cards in and assign them the appropriate number under wherever you've installed them. So that's filing specifically by people or characters or character types. The other option is to file it by story or project. Maybe these 5 characters all fit underneath a short story idea that you have. Well, then you simply file those characters under the title for that story. Even if all you have is a working title, when you think of these people, you're going to think of that story. So you're going to file them under the title and go there to look them up. Just remember to index it under that story title so you can get yourself back to it. Or maybe by project. Perhaps it's not even a story yet. It's just an idea for a project. That's okay too. Give that project a title name, install that in your index alphabetically, and stick those cards in that spot. The third and final option is what if you do it by story points? Now, we're not going to get as crazy as we would get with the plot box that has 32 story points. I'm just going to give you a couple to get you started. What if you're looking at scene ideas involving these characters? Maybe you have a catalyst or something that sets a character story in motion. So you could file things under a catalyst or an inciting event. Put those characters under there. This character experiences a bomb blowing up. This character gets some bad news. This character discovers something about her family. Whatever that catalyst is, stick it under the catalyst or the incident that starts your story off. Another one would be the climax. That's kind of the alternate point to your catalyst. The climax is, how do things end? Do they solve the mystery? Do they discover the final clue and crack things open emotionally? Do they make some kind of an emotional shift? Those are climax events. File those little babies under climax, and then when you need to come to a story ending, flip through those, and I bet you'll find something that you can tuck in to end your story on. And then the final thing would be a conclusion. If there's any kind of closing scene or closing sentiment that maybe a character's thinking, who knows? They're your cards, you're making them up. But the idea is, if you're filing them by story parts, just be consistent and make sure that you put those characters' ideas or thoughts or things that inform them under that story part as a placeholder. And then when you need a conclusion, go to C for conclusion, see where it's filed, pull those cards, and look them up to start writing. So that's 3 ways that you can file everything that we've created up to this point using characters or potentially story points involving those characters. However you decide to do it, the important thing is to be consistent, always index those things, and leave yourself a good breadcrumb trail so that you can get back to those ideas when it's time to sit down and start writing, because that's what we're here for. So with that, I will throw it over to Kathleen to fill out her side of the Zettelkasten week.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. Now it's great to know where to put all those cards once they come about. Well, what we're going to talk about this time is still on the focus of meekness. That's our big focus for this month. And we're going to be talking about capturing moments of meekness just the way you would capture scenes, just the way you would capture settings, just the way you would capture dialogue. We're going to talk about capturing moments of meekness. Well, one of the easiest ways to figure out a moment of meekness is to remember that meekness is above all about where the character has his focus. Is his focus inward on himself, or is he confidently looking out into the world? So that is a real easy way to spot focus. So now, if you take a look at a movie scene, maybe you're reading a book and you read a scene in the book, or you're watching people interact in real life, or maybe you're experiencing a moment of some kind yourself, start thinking about how you can begin to capture those moments. Let's run through a few simple examples so that you know what I mean. Take, for instance, a situation. Mom is in the kitchen. She's got the spaghetti sauce on, and it's going to need some pretty consistent stirring or it's going to burn. She's got the pot of spaghetti going, and you know what happens when you look away from the pot of spaghetti. It's pretty soon it's boiling spaghetti water all over the stove. And right in the midst of that comes Johnny tugging on her apron strings. Well, where's Mom's focus? Where does Mom want her focus to be? Okay, you've got a conflict there. Stories are made on conflicts. Capture that. Capture in writing a scene that shows the conflict that Mom is going through between sauce, noodles, and Johnny. How does she juggle those? Show her desire to give him her focus and her inability to do so. Try it. Exercise those writing muscles to see if you can capture it. Now, what about a deliberate self-focus? Now we've got a character who's very much into themselves. Thank you. Just doing fine. Thank you. Who are you? Why are you bothering me? And you can set up your other character. Maybe your other character has an inward focus of a different kind. Remember, this is a balance trait, 2 kinds of inward focus. This guy's inward focus is the boss going to cut my head off? Is he going to say something horrible to me? Is he going to fire me? I got to bring him this horrible news. Okay, you've got another conflict set up. The boss is busy. His focus is on the boss's work. Who's this pipsqueak popping into his office who feels very pipsqueaky indeed? But he's got something vital that he's been told he must pass on to the boss. He's been made the bearer of this information. You have another conflict. Try out your exercise muscles of writing this. Once you do a few of these, ideas will really start popping into your head. What about the person who has a selfish self-focus? This person is all about thinking about this person's own self. She's been invited to go shopping with a friend of hers who's getting married. And the friend is trying to pick out some new clothes because she has a great aunt who said, I want to set you up with a little mini wardrobe to start your married life, and has given her a nice check to buy some nice clothes. And she's brought her best friend along who's very inward focused on her own self. So the friend is supposed to be helping the girl pick out exciting new clothes for when do you think she can pay any attention to that? Oh no, she's up on the other rack looking at what might look good on her. Can you capture that in words? Try out those muscles again. Try capturing focus. Try showing in a few words where the person's focus is. So these are the kinds of exercises that will help you build strength in your writing. I want to tell you a little bit about LiLLiPub. You know, we never let a map session go by without mentioning LiLLiPub.org. And you know, we have a fusion writing group that meets every week where you can post your writing, and we emphasize that during our writing week. Next week, by the way. But we have a special group opening up now on LiLLiPub, which is the Circle for Character Traits. And in that circle, you will get a weekly writing prompt for a little short exercise like the ones we're talking about now, where maybe you're going to write a page of a scene or 2 pages and exercise your specific muscles on doing the character traits. And this will give you an opportunity on a weekly basis to internalize what you're getting out of the character traits. And not only that, when you come on over there, you will get some extra bonus resources that are otherwise not available to you directly. For instance, I have a whole 35-week course, Reawaken the Dream of Writing, where I spend a week's lesson on each character trait. They are very deliberately listed in YouTube under a lesson number, not under a character trait name. That's because I don't want people popping in from all weird places in YouTube land and getting all excited about the word meekness and blah, all out of context of writing characters. So for that reason, I kept them very anonymous. But if you come on over to LiLLiPub.org, you'll get a pointer into that lesson for meekness, and you'll get the 2 sections. One which is the scenarios where I run some sample writing where you can see meekness in action, and the analysis where I break it down. You'll also get a pointer to a PDF for that lesson, which is a multi-page document that covers everything that's presented in that lesson. And you'll also get links right here to Fusion Writing to our episodes on meekness. So it's a resource that's really, really, really worth your $8 a month if you really want to learn the character traits and really get to know them. So pardon me for this prolonged, shameless plug of LiLLiPub.org, but it really is there being offered for you. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Victoria to sum us up.
Absolutely. Oh, that was tremendous. That was tremendous. And what a terrific resource. Just guys, I'm telling you, we are on the cusp of something really incredible. And a big chunk of that revolves around the development and the use of the character trait system. Because here's where we are. We're at a place where you can jump in at the beginning of starting these exercises and really start to get underneath what's driving your characters, especially if you are a short story writer or if you like to write more character-driven fiction. Even if you're a nonfiction writer and you're just toying around, this is an awesome, unprecedented opportunity for you to dive into these traits and start to understand how to use them. You won't regret it. You may feel a little out of your depth at first. Lord knows I did and still do sometimes. But I'm absolutely committed to diving into this because at the end of the day, this is a different kind of tool. It's a different kind of system, and it's going to challenge you in ways that I guarantee you haven't been pushed before. And for me, that's really exciting. So if you're excited by challenge or by pushing your writing to the next level, you got to come and join us and check it out, because this is going to be a hoot, and we'll meet over there together and we'll just see what happens. I guarantee it'll be fun. So come join us. We'll see you soon.
Okay, and I should mention also that there are 2 Wednesday meetings, one earlier in the day and one later in the day, where we'll talk about the exercises and what we wrote and share what we wrote. There'll be a place to post your writing. So it's kind of like Fusion Writing, our Saturday groups where we meet every Saturday to talk about our writing. But this one will be where we're talking about our exercises. So it's a little more targeted. We're all on the same page. We won't necessarily all be writing to the same prompt, but we'll all be writing to the same character trait and the same focus. And with 4 weeks in a month, we'll have 4 different focus points on each character trait. So you're really going to come to a deep understanding of them in a way that's only possible by trying them out. Come on over and we'll be there. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see you there. And guys, if you need a little bit of accountability, if you're dragging your feet as a writer, you're not getting to your pages, you're not meeting your goals, this is a great opportunity to harness the power of the group, because we'll all be doing it together. So come join us.
All right. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.